Hey everybody, so I wanted to make a video today about Rapé, and it's come up a lot recently in some of my conversations, and I think it's important to share this information. So there's a few things that I think you might want to know about how to use Rapé. And just to preface, this is my personal experience, so this may not be true for everyone, and just sharing my opinion and my experience, and if it resonates, great. If it doesn't, just discard it and it's all good. But yeah, here's some tips and tricks and things that I've found useful and important. So I want to start this video with a story of my own experience, and again, this is my experience, so if it doesn't resonate, cool. But it was about maybe 6 or 7 years ago. I did a 30-day Rapé challenge, and I don't know where the idea came from. It wasn't from outside myself, but I did this 30-day challenge, and every day when I would do the Rapé, I would say a prayer and I would thank it, and my prayer typically goes like this: thank you so much, Rapé. I usually hold it between my hands. I should have brought the Rapé with me today for this video, but I didn't, and that's okay. So I say a prayer, I hold it between my hands, I put it up to my third eye, and this is just what I felt intuitively called to do. And then I blow on it 3 times. When I breathe in that light into my body, and then I exhale that light into the Rapé in the container, and I blow into it 3 times, sending my light into it. And then I would say a prayer: thank you, Rapé. Thank you for guiding me. Thank you for teaching me. Thank you for healing me. Thank you for grounding me. Thank you for showing me my blind spots. Thank you for cleansing me. Thank you for clearing my energy. Thank you for providing all that I need that I'm not aware of. Thank you. I respect you. I honor you. You are sacred. And every day in those 30 days, I would say something kind of like that. And one day, just out of the blue, I don't know why I said it, but I just said, and thank you for loving me. And I heard a very loud response from tobacco and said, I do not love you. Your people have abused me and bastardized me. I have been treated with sacredness in the indigenous traditions, and that is not how your people have treated me, and I do not love you. And I was like, what? Oh my gosh, like all the plants and the animals don't just love me because I love them. And it makes sense, of course not. They're all individual pieces of consciousness with their own unique personalities and experiences and energy interactions with us. So I was shocked, and I understood that our culture has rolled tobacco into cigarettes. We use it very without sacred intention, and made a lot of sense to me. And so I was like humbled, absolutely got that. And so I continued with my 30-day practice. But I share that with you because it's important to understand wherever you are in your journey with Rapé, if it's just beginning and wanting to get information or advice or just get some guidance, or if you are far along in your journey, it's always really important to remember that this is a sacred medicine, and this sacred medicine has a lot of power. And one of the things that I have noticed in sitting with different plants and different dietas is that tobacco is a lot like cannabis. And what I mean by that is when you look at the plant, maybe you pull up the leaves of whether a tobacco or a cannabis plant, they are very resinous, they're very sticky. And so this resin is a sign of its medicinal properties, of the power that it holds in its different alkaloids and components. And I looked at the underside of this tobacco plant, and there were all these flies and gnats and little insects that had flown up into the plant for whatever thing they were looking for and got stuck. And they were stuck, and they could not now separate from the plant, and they had died there. And so I think that this is an important metaphor for us as humans when we're utilizing this plant as medicine. It is very medicinal, as the resinous properties show us, and it also can be very sticky, just like cannabis, and we can become addicted to it. And so it's important that we continue to honor this plant and use it with sacred use and intention. And so part of the tips and tricks that I want to share with you today is that when you're thinking about your intention for using Rapé, is that intention something that only Rapé can give you, and only this way and only this space and time? Or is there another way to achieve whatever it is that you're hoping to achieve from using Rapé that way, that day? If you want it to ground you and to clear you, is it possible that putting your feet on the ground and doing a 10-minute meditation or some, Wim Hof breath work couldn't do the same thing? That would be another way to get there without utilizing an addictive substance. So that's one thing I wanted to share. So I always try to look at, why do I want to use this medicine, whether it's Rapé or any other master plant, and is that information or that breakthrough available in a way that wouldn't take as much time or might be less addictive? So if I can do breath work, if I can do something different to get there, maybe looking at that. So that's one thing. And then I think that for me, it's really important to always have ritual attached to my Rapé ceremony, because that is part of what makes it a ceremony, is having this consistent process that I go through that makes it special, that creates a container, that creates a sacred space and a sacred use for this plant. So my ritual starts with the prayer, which I went over, and then blowing into it 3 times. And then I set my intention. What do I want to receive that day? Sometimes I will do Rapé before we have church members arrive for a ceremony, and I want to clear myself to be a hollow bone, to be a vessel, and that's a great way to do that. And so in that sense, I maybe only use it once a month for that reason. I may have been out of my practice, so there are times that I fall off the wagon and I don't meditate every day, and I don't eat well every day, and I don't exercise or do yoga or do those things that are supporting my inner well-being. And so Rapé is a great way for me to just say, you know what, I'm just going to clear the slate, I'm going to go do some Rapé, and I'm going to get back on track. And that's one way that I do that. So I don't use it every day. This 30-day challenge was the only time in my life that I've ever used it every day. There was a time when I used it weekly, and then as I continued to progress through my own spiritual journey, I now maybe need it once or twice a month. So I just share that because I think that this is my personal use, but I think that that is a good marker to look at. How are other people using this, and how often are they using it, and why are they using it, and do I need to use this every day when I wake up, and do I need to use this every day when I go to bed? Because that is how a lot of people are using this medicine, and I think that there is a better way, because we really need to be sure that we're not becoming addicted or reliant on something for building that own inner strength within ourselves. How can we get where we need to go, that we think that Rapé can take us, instead using our own inner strength and building those own pillars of strength and self-reliance, and ground ourselves, clear ourselves. We can clear with the breath, we can ground with our feet. So why are we using Rapé? So setting your intention, and then set and setting. So the mindset is the prayer, the intention, the ritual. The setting is try to be outside, try to be outdoors. This is where the clean, clear energy is. When we're indoors, we have a lot of other unseen variables that are affecting us. Maybe it's a sink full of dirty dishes, maybe it's other people in the house, maybe it's our laptop sitting over next to us on the couch. Like, there's all these other energies that are going to maybe unconsciously interfere with your experience, and you will have a better experience if you're outside. It's almost 100 degrees outside, and I'm making this video for you guys outside because it's just better energy. I get my flow better when I'm outside. So whether it's hot, it's cold, it's rainy, try to brave the elements and find a space. It's only 10-15 minutes that the Rapé ceremony lasts, so try to do it outside. Try to have it in a private space. It isn't always possible, but try to be in your own space when you're doing Rapé. not talking to other people. We want it to be quiet. We want it to be an inward journey. I would not recommend doing Rapé while you're going to have a phone call, or I've had interviews, like job interviews, with people come to the retreat center to be a volunteer here, and in the middle of sitting around the table, you know, talking about job expectations, they pull out their Rapé, and do you mind if I do some Rapé right now? I'm like, yeah, I do. This is not sacred use of Rapé. Like, what is the intention in that? So try to make it your own inward journey with a good set, with a good setting. Don't do it while you're talking to others. Music is okay, you know, very select specific music that enhances your journey, not something that's going to be distracting with words and that kind of thing. You may want to have a bucket. Some people like to have a bucket. If you're outside and you need to spit, you can just spit on the ground. I have never purged, but some people do purge from Rapé, so if you need to purge, maybe a bucket would be helpful. Tissues is always nice, and having some water on hand is a good idea. So then after I say the prayer and I self-administer using a Rapé, and I'm not going to go into the details of that today. That might be a different video. Today is more about just the general use. Or if someone is administering it to you, then after you've administered it to yourself, you want to sit up straight. And this isn't always possible. Sometimes Rapé is moving some energy through us, or we're just like, oh, and it's really hard, or we need to lay down. That's okay. That's okay. But if you can, sit up straight so that this energy, this vertical channel of energy that is your spine, that aligns you with the cosmos and grounds you into the ground, sit up straight so that this energy, this vertical energy, which is the spiritual energy, can move through you the easiest. The horizontal energy is this third dimension. It's time, it's space-time, it's this linear continuum. So we want to be in the vertical continuum as much as possible. And then after you're in that seated position, you want to just feel the energy moving through your body. Have your feet on the ground. Breathe through your mouth. We don't want to snort the Rapé in. You know, sometimes I will like maybe just do a little sniff to get something that might be in the beginning, like the early part of my nostrils. I might want to just bring it up just a little bit, but I'm not doing that. So this is not a snorting medicine. And maybe I just do like a light sniff. Sometimes I'll plug my nose, exhale, like breathe in, kind of pulls the sides of my nostrils together and pushes that Rapé up into the mucous membranes, and I get a little bit more into the capillary space that might have just been sitting on the surface of the inside of my nose. So those are some things that I do. Feel out into nature. So once you're feeling into your body and you're grounded in your body, we don't want to be dissociated. So what Rapé can do is bring you back into your body if you are dissociated, and feel into the body. And then once you've felt into the body, feel out into the space around you. Feel the breeze, listen to the nature, listen to the sounds, feel what's going on in the space around you. Be present. Be present. And sometimes I have my eyes open, sometimes they're closed. I don't think it's really an individual moment by moment, case by case thing, whether your eyes are open or closed. I think eyes closed might be overall the better option, but eyes open is fine too. You want to listen for messages from your body, from your soul. They're going to sound like a whisper. It's not going to be the ego in your mind telling you should have done this, or you need to do that, or that's not how your soul speaks to you. The sound's going to be more like a whisper. Or you want to listen to the messages from Grandfather Tobacco. So those will sometimes come through. Some people do have visions while they have a Rapé ceremony. Not always. But sometimes that is possible. You don't want to rush the experience. So really just allow yourself to be in the experience. Maybe it's uncomfortable, maybe it's not, but bring yourself into this present moment, into this meditative state, breathing, grounded, feeling your butt on the ground, whatever chair or couch, feeling your feet on the ground, feeling the air pass through into your lungs, breathing as deeply in as you can, exhaling a long exhale. Try to make your exhale longer than your inhale, and this will help to dissipate some of the energy that Rapé might be bringing up for you. Sometimes I like to take a deep breath in, and when I do that, I'm imagining that light's filling my body, that I'm breathing light down into the crown of my head, and then the light's filling my body, and then when I exhale, I lift my hands up, and then I shine this light down around me. I'm kind of like doing this with my fingers around the outside edge of me. And I might do that a few times. Just creating my light energy around me, and also exhaling anything that I want to release or purge. If I'm present to it consciously, I might just be like, and just sending that out through the breath, letting that shadow or that darkness go through the breath and through the exhale. You don't want to I mentioned that already. So I recommend at least waiting 5 minutes to blow your nose. Sometimes when we do Rapé, which is like, oh my gosh, let me just blow my nose real quick. Just try to rest through that. Try to ground through that and just allow it to be what it is. I will have some tissues handy, and I might just kind of like squeeze my nose to get, you know, whatever might be running out the nose out there, but I don't blow the nose until maybe 5-10 minutes, or until I'm completely done with the experience. Another thing that you can do in Rapé is just have your arms out. My arm is like all the way out, my hands are spread wide, and I'm just allowing that energy to move through my body, just keeping the arms straight out like you're on a cross, and just feeling all the energy that's moving through your body and clearing you, and consciously connecting to the ground, consciously connecting to the cosmos, really again coming back into that vertical alignment, allowing the energy to come in through the top of the crown, to flow down through the spine and out your feet onto the ground while your arms are out is such a powerful, powerful experience. I just want to recap again, I don't do Rapé every day. I definitely don't do it more than one time a day. And can that intention for why we're using Rapé be met through a different means that's not so sticky, that doesn't have the risk of addiction? And I also wanted to throw one last tip in there, that Rapé in the container, so whether it's a metal container, a glass container, whatever the container is, can be powerful all by itself. This is such a cool truth. So if you maybe have some pain in your body, or you know that there's some anxiousness in your stomach, or whatever it is that you feel like you want to clear why you're having Rapé, you know, this is another way to use it without getting the sticky properties in you. What is it that you want to clear? Where is it in your body? So take a moment to get present in your body, come into your body, feel where is that in the body, and then just take your Rapé container, if it's in the heart or in the stomach or in the shoulder, just use the container to kind of move it up. And you can allow the power of Rapé inside the container. The energy of that can help to move things out of the body without ever putting it inside the body. So thank you for joining me today. I hope that you learned something. Again, if it fits, great. If it doesn't, just toss it aside. This is my effort to contribute my wisdom and my experience. I am by no means a Rapé expert. There are lots of indigenous and more skilled and talented and experienced people, but this is my experience, and I'm sharing it with you to help make the world a more beautiful, better place, and to preserve the sacred use of these very powerful master plants. I love you. Thank you. Have a great, wonderful day. Remember, your daily spiritual practice is the most essential thing that you can do to keep yourself on the straight path. Aho.